Hey guys, it's me, the Tin Man. I'm using this side of the camera because this is one of the older cameras and the picture still is good on this side. Oh, I do get the option of zooming too, so that's nice. Keep forgetting that. But on the other side, the lens is actually marked. That's the reason why it's foggy. When people ask, why is it foggy? Anyways, I want to point out some activity stuff. This is that big burrow that I've talked about a few times, and I got it really close to it, and I explained to you different techniques on maybe why they're doing it, but they're the ones who do the burrows, the majority of them. Because what a burrow is it's a soar, and it just keeps building and building. It's not building from the inside, it's building from the outside. So start to think about that when you do your research. I could explain it all to you now, but humbug on me, figure it out for yourself, and it'll be good. Anyways, talking about here, last time I was in here, I do a lot of walking without videotaping, guys, obviously. You must realize that. And lately it's been a lot more walking without videotaping. And yeah, there's reason behind that. Anyways, in there was nestled one of those little hide packages. That's the package right there. It was sitting over here. I picked it up right away. I recognized it. So that burrow is all covered up. You see that? So here's the package. Right there. And when you come into here, I thought to myself, well, maybe the people who put it there, have it there, somebody came by and tried to nestle it and make it look a little bit more hidden and stuff, right? I started to pull out, like that one right there has a cut in it. That one's a broken one. These are all just shoved in there. You can see the life of them, so you can tell how soon this was done. All around here. It's all very messed up, guys. All the way around and stuff. And right here we got really if you can get to see it, I'm going to try to point it out. In that range right there is a toe print and a heel print. Looks like it's maybe been stepped on more than once, and there's a whole bunch, there's a number of prints around here that we can see. So they've really stacked in some stuff here, because that I don't think is necessarily all dug out, although I think they've done some more digging out. And then look at that cut back there, if you can see that. Anyway, so maybe you're recognizing the burrows that I've some of this now when I'm here, and I'm seeing that it looks a little bit, looks cleaned up a little bit in that side. And so they've been working on it, and stuff like this. When such big statements are made like this, where I go with this is I start to think to myself, you're not recording? Oh, you still are. I start to think to myself, who the frick did that? They don't look very happy, or are they just back in town? Right? Think about travelers. There are travelers in this communion of beings. It's got to be a thing. It's, once you get in, where I stand anyways, you start to realize the communication. And when you start to look around the world, and you start to realize that their communication is all around just huge. They know how to get information around somehow. They are very much more into this than we realize. People just say all this in super intelligence and stuff like that. It's not the super intelligence, it's the beings. We're a being that is this intelligent. Whether they're more intelligent or not, who really gives a rat's ass? That doesn't mean we don't get to figure stuff out. That doesn't, and shout out to Marcus Conte for, I heard him on a video the other day say something about rat's ass, and I think it was about who gives a rat's ass too. And only a couple of days before that or right around that exact time, I had also put up a video saying that, and here I am popping it out again. He's in New York, so I was really impressed to know on the eastern side of my country but down from my country because he's in New York. So he's a couple of hours out of the country I grew up in. He is saying the same thing. Now that information might have been created somehow in his mind, but he most likely heard it in his life. And same with me. And now we repeat it. So if you think about that, these guys are repeating growing techniques around the world. How these trees work, what defines them, what gives them their character, what helps them grow, placement around the world, the amount of science that gets opened for me, who's not even a scientific mind. Right? I can do this level of researching and stuff like that, but I've been training myself since I was an infant, and others around me help train me without me even or us even realizing what my job was going to be. I actually get to be one of those humans who, if I reflect hard enough and get around all the silliness that we can do to ourselves, I realize this is my job. This was my duty. Now, how long I get to keep this duty going on kind of bothers me in a sense, because I don't want to miss this opportunity for us, the humans. I think we got a lot of opportunity with what's going on and coming up on our on my channel here, and it's our channel. You know, I might be able to make my few grand so far from it, but it's our channel. I said that from the beginning, because my feeling is so many times we're getting things taken away from us from the so-called higher powers, where they just keep it secretive or whatever, instead of just putting it out there. There really is no space capsule thing down in wherever in that Area 51 and stuff. Who knows? That whatever guy that lies all the time creates a big story from back then till now. Just look at his story and you'll know that he just like the story of what went on there to the story back in those days when he came out with it in the 80s or something, to now the stories that Bob Lahar or whatever, he's not a legit guy. A lot of guys, it's hard for them to just keep telling the facts of the story or whatever and keep them straight, but so we make mistakes. I know I've grown a lot in all my facts, so yeah, I'm just gabbing on, I guess, a bit now. The 411 with David, that guy there, can't recall his last name right now, but yeah, watch those. Those really connect with a lot of this work. And there's huger things going on that I have not told you guys, and I am not making that up. I'm telling you right now, there's some really freaking huge stuff that I'm working on by myself. I try to stimulate other people, through comments and stuff like that, and see if they'll start to talk about it and get into it with me and stuff. And it's a tough conversation. I'm probably not giving enough for them to be sparked enough or something, but it's huge, and everybody's already talking about them. You just don't know they're talking about the thing that I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to bring a different light on it. It's big. Peace out from the Tin Man. Yeah, there's been a real big change, guys, in these last few years. A very huge change. Like that tree right there is multiply being marked up now over a few years. These trees have multiply gone through different things. Look, I'm showing you that burrow right there in this area. There's all this bankside. You can see somebody's all been toiling with it. Like, I can just go through all this area. If you walk through me here with me, I go, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at this, look at that, and I'll say stuff with them. You get it, you don't get it, and also there are people who walk through here, and I try to learn the humans' track marks along with the dog track marks, along with these guys just messing around with track marks. Because they do that. They mimic, remember, not just noises. They also mimic marks. They'll mimic their looks. People got to really, really connect with that. They're mimicking their looks. Many people think they see certain things. They aren't seeing certain things. I watch lots of people's videos. And not lots, but I mean, I do the odd time. I've come across lots of videos, I should say, where I'm going, hey man, you're circling something way different than I think you should be circling. Happens quite often and stuff, but you know, my expertise on doing this job is my expertise, and I will always state that anything that I've researched in the past, tons of it will follow through with being real, evidential, helpful, factual stuff that furthers this cause. Many, many things. And then there will be the handful, or a couple of handful of different things that maybe I was even totally off subject. But I think even a lot of those, like look at our pathway right here. There's an unavoidable spider web. You know, I do those kind of things. I don't know about you guys, but I'll walk and I'll see a spider web. I don't knock them down if I can get around them in many cases, because that's the same thing they would do. And when you're doing things that they do, I think there's a big connection. I think that's showing them some kind of a level. And I've always been that kind of a person. You know, I have a number of ex-relationships with people. Just people in general. And I don't understand really why they would want to be my ex. You know, if that makes any sense. Because that's the kind of friend I try to be, is someone who's helpful. You know, not to say there's not going to be arguments and disagreements and so on and so forth, but yeah, we're in hot zone now. So I'm going to be shutting this little talk off, and hopefully let me know that you watch this till the end. How's that sound? Tell me some of the things I said along in here, or any of my videos. Oh, that point on dogs, cool. Point on dogs at 5 minutes, 7 seconds, cool. Stuff like that makes me realize people are listening. I have lots of people who will tell me, yeah, boink, 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 I see boink, 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 and stuff like this and stuff. You know, in most cases I probably maybe have already detected them, noticed them, because I can do it quite quick and efficiently now. I don't have to sit there and necessarily study so much. I can go, oh, there's one I believe, or an area nestled for them, because a nestled area can give off fairly similar symptoms to a hot area. Okay, so you could have a whole bunch of hot spots right here and other ones over here that are just nestled areas that are maybe coming up empty. And there's a very close relation in the looks of them, in the coloration, but there is a difference. And then once you get able to break that coloration, just like a lot of people, or I mean, one of my subbers recently here was telling me about how he's done some stills on my videos now, or something like that, I believe, screenshots. And then he puts them in a program or whatever. He says very easily, he just changes the background and stuff like that, the filters and stuff like that. He says things really start to bounce. And then it can give a life to the things that are bouncing too. The things like Earth that has this certain kind of